describe a friend who has played an important part in your life. You should say, how you met this person, how long have you known him or her, the kind of things you do or did with him or her. Explain why this person has been important in your life. Whenever being asked about who the person have significant role played in my life is, I always answer that is my best friend called Nhung. The first time I met her was 5 years ago when we were studying at my high school. At that time, for me, she was no one rather than a distant classmate, since I thought that she was kind of not my cup of tea. However, time has gone by, and I had more time to talk and to share with her. We often hang out with each other after classes or when shopping, which helps us to get away from it all and recharge ourselves. Well, ever since then, we got closer and closer. Now she's my beloved soulmate that I can't imagine how terrible and lonely my life would be if someday she disappeared. Frankly, I'm quite into her tactfulness. What I mean here is she seldom kind of cuts somebody to the quick or that sort of thing. Well, maybe that is the reason why we have never had any row so far. What's more, it is she who gives me useful advice when I am in trouble. Being with her, I don't have to keep anything quiet, because she is such a thoughtful listener that I can let all things down. And to be honest, not only am I in debt to her, but also treasure this priceless friendship.
My best friend is Ray. He is my university classmate. Ray is a handsome guy. He likes basketball and so do I. We always play basketball together, and we won a lot of matches under his leadership. He has the ability to deal with troubles, and we trust him, so our class is the best one in our department. He's a friendly boy, and he gives me a lot of help. For example, he bought medicine and food for me when I was ill. We are both interested in Western film, and we often go to cinema together. And because we know that English is essential to us in future, we go to the English corner to practice our spoken English.
There is a person who is very important to me in my life. She is my best friend, Wang Shujiao. We have known each other for a long time, and she and I were in the same kindergarten and the same primary school. Both her mother and my mother worked in the same middle school as teachers. We often went to their working place together to do our homework or play games. We were both very active, and we often caught butterflies or dragonflies and then set them free. Now we grow up and we work in different cities, but we call each other regularly to talk about our own families. Whenever I have the chance to go on business to her city, I will visit her. And we go to pubs or cafes, and she goes shopping with me. When I have troubles in my life, she is going to comfort me and make me feel good.
This topic makes me so happy. I'd like to talk about my childhood friend Amy, who I practically grew up together with. We met in kindergarten. I know many people may not remember anything from kindergarten, but I remember her clearly because we went to the same primary school, middle school, and high school until we decided to attend different universities. But we are in close contact with each other. We talk or text each other about almost every detail in our life. She's like the other half of me, or even the better half. She's pretty amiable, just like her name. Whenever I have a problem, she's always the one I turn to. So you could see how much we are in need of each other. As for what we did together, that would be a lot. But the most memorable things should be the trips we took after secondary school graduations. We planned the trips and traveled to Hainan Island and Phuket, Thailand. We did water sports and ate bizarre food. Those were great memories. I'm truly lucky to have a real friend like her. I cannot think of anything that could set us apart.
Well, I would like to talk about one of my friend who encouraged me to achieve my goal as organizing a French musical play, and she was one of my classmates. We all majored in French and English. Although she is not as tall as me, she is more determined than me. When I was a sophomore, I came up with an idea of organizing a French musical play. But after I expressed my idea to my classmates, I started to hesitate to do this activity. I felt stressed and nervous because I have no related experience before. And at that time, Anne came to me and she encouraged me encouraged me and she also said she counted on me, and she also helped me to organize some rehearsals. Um, because of her encouragements, I started to gain my confidence on organizing this activity, and in the end, with hard work. Of me and all our classmates, we succeeded in the club gala, and we received the best performance award. And her encouragement has helped me a lot.
Well, today I'm going to talk about a very good friend of mine whose name is Fei. He was the best friend of mine, and he is still my best friend because we always hang out. Fei is quite extroverted and positive because he always had a positive outlook on life, and he always say he would be the best actor in China, so it shows that Fei is quite ambitious. And I remember I met him when we were 6 years old, and that was the first year of primary school. It was September the first day of the primary school, and I remember I walked into the classroom and I sat down, and the face sitting next to me, and so we began to introduce to each other, and I found we really hit it off. So we've been best friend. Yeah, because we've been good friends ever since, so we were inseparable. That is to say, we did everything together. For example, we went to school together and went back home together, and every Saturday we used to go to the park and play soccer together with some of our other friends. So yeah. And another thing that worth mentioning is that our parents get along get along well as well. Yeah, because we always went to their apartment and had meals together, and they always went to my apartment too. I think we've been good friends ever since, mainly because we have a lot in common. That is to say, we are on the same wavelength. We are both outgoing and positive, and we both like playing soccer. Yeah. So, you know what they say, birds of feather flock together.
I'd like to talk about Vivian, a friend I met on summer camp at school. We were assigned roommates and met in the dorm for the first time. I remember she had a short black hair and a round face. At that time, I just transferred to the school and didn't have any friends. Also, I wasn't good at making new friends, so I felt a little lonely and helpless. She noticed that and tried to help me fit in by accompanying me to the canteen, doing homework with me, and introducing new friends to me. After the summer camp, thanks to her, I found myself enjoying the new environment and more outgoing than before. The most important thing was, she was the first person I could really open myself up to. I thought we could be good friends forever. Unfortunately, she transferred to another school the next semester. It wasn't easy for me to say goodbye to her. I felt like it was the end of something, and there was part of me that left with her. However, not only did she not forget about me, she came back to visit as much as she could and helped me go through all troubles I encountered. I feel so lucky to have a friend like her.
Describe a friend who you think is a good leader. Danny, who is my classmate as well as my friend in my middle school, is an excellent leader in my eyes. She displays numerous leadership qualities. She is diligent, responsible, and considerate. She developed a good habit of listening to others carefully, and her patience is extraordinary. She is the one who inspires me to do what I want to. We first met on the first day of my grade 7. She was an exchange student who was transferred to my school. At the first sight, I knew she was a special girl because when the teachers asked her to introduce herself to us, she didn't feel shy at all. She was quite relaxed in the new environment. From that day on, she made a lot of friends quickly, and everyone seemed to enjoy her company. She was so kind-hearted as to always help others. She also kept a good relationship with the teachers. She talked and even joked with the teachers, just like friends. In my eyes, the leadership of her is most evident in the fact that she can successfully organize activities. She can always arouse others' enthusiasm and cooperation in these activities. I remember she successfully organized the debate competition and a New Year's party in my class. She first collected others' ideas, then solved the conflicts, and put forward a solution which everyone was pleased with. The teachers were all satisfied with her plan. Besides all this, she is also versatile. She can dance well and play the piano. In many ways, I look up to her, and she is kind of a role model to me. I really hope that I can develop based on her example.
Let me tell you about a success my friend Xiaowei has won in a singing competition. Xiaowei is my classmate and one of my best friends. We play together and study together, but at that time I didn't know she was keen on singing. When the campus singing competition was coming, she asked me to sign up with her. I was extremely surprised because she was going to give a solo show. The competition was shown on the TV in every classroom that day. Most of the players had a 2 people or more people's group, but Xiaowei was alone. When she was singing, the voice she sang was so grateful and profound that everybody felt in it. After the results came out, Xiaowei has won the second prize in the competition. It was really a successful experience to her. It made her develop the confidence and gain a special experience.
Well, today I would like to tell you about a successful achievement my friend achieved 2 years ago. At that time, I quite liked swimming in a swimming pool which was nearby my house. But swimming alone was so boring. I wanted a person to swim with me together, but my parents was too busy to swim with me. So I asked my best friend Mary to swim with me, and she agreed it. When we went to swim, I knew that Mary was very good at swimming at all. However, she would take part in a swimming contest next week. Of course, I would go to watch it and record a video. When the contest started, the whole audience cheered up for the person they supported. I also cheered up for my best friend. At the beginning, my best friend Mary fell behind others, but I saw Mary tried as she might to swim faster. In the last 50 meters, Mary caught up with other rivals. Finally, she won the contest. It was so nervous because she finished more than 2 seconds ahead of her nearest rival. I was so happy about she won the contest. I would have a party for her in my house and asked our friends to celebrate it.
I like to talk about something my friend has achieved. Actually, he's my longtime friend of mine. He was the high school classmate of mine actually, and we were classmates. So we just study together and walk home together. We just do everything together. And at that time, we promised to each other by the time we were 13, we have to travel to 13 different countries. But now we were both 29, and he has been to 35 different countries. Some really popular countries like the USA and UK and Australia, yeah, something like that. And also he has been to some countries that's off the beaten track, like the Brunei and Cyprus, and also the Cook Islands. For example, he just came back from the Cook Island, and he told me that it was the heaven on earth. It's basically beautiful. It's breathtakingly beautiful, actually. So he did skydiving there, and this all the things are something I really want to have a try. And in terms of what he did, well, now he's a photographer, so he just traveling all over the world and took some picture and shared it on the social media. And I think it's a really good job because this allows him to do whatever he wants. Yeah. So how I feel about his success? Well, I do envy him because, all the things are something I really want to have a try, yeah, like I just said. And because now we are different. Now I just work in an office and have a 9-to-5 job. So it's really hard for me to go to my boss and to tell him I really want to have a month off because I want to do some traveling. So yeah. So I really want to have a life like him. Yeah. I really envy him.
Describe our friend you enjoy talking with. You should say who this person is, how you knew him or her, what you usually talk about, and explain why you want to talk to this person. I have always been lucky enough to be surrounded by a large circle of friends who are incredibly supportive, compassionate, and open-minded. And everybody knows how precious it is to have such a gift, and I, of all people, know better than taking that for granted. That's why I always make an effort to keep in touch with people I've become close with, and one of whom is my ex-boss, my mentor, Ali. Admittedly, it's far from ordinary relationship for most people, but to Ali and I, it came naturally. We first met during the training course we both attended for a luxury soon-to-be-open restaurant in town roughly 2 years ago. Ali was our Filipino manager, and I was about to be a hostess for the very first time. Every concept, every rule, and every etiquette with working in hospitality industry just overwhelmed me. And if it hadn't been for Ellie, a patient teacher as well as dedicated friends, I couldn't have managed to complete my training and achieve good performance at our workplace. However, thanks to those hard times we've been through together, we got closer and our conversation could last endlessly, range from family, career, happiness to setbacks in life. As a predecessor, Ellie usually offers me valuable advice and emotional support whenever I confide in him. No lecturing, no I told you so, just pure compassion. He always tries to bring out the best in people instead of being Mr. Know-it-all or patronizing, which is one of million things I admire about him. Even though we are no longer working together and hang out more often than we should, our strong bond has never gone loose. We keep each other in the loop about everything significant happening around us and provide mutual support if needed. Once in a while, we could meet over coffee or dinner to catch up if our schedule allowed, and still I truly deeply treasure every moment together.
Describe something interesting that your friend has done, but you haven't. You should say what it was, where your friend did it, when your friend did it, and explain why it sounds interesting. I'm going to talk about something interesting my friend did. What's special about the game is that you need to put on a white colour t-shirt at the very beginning of running, yet every time you pass 1,000 meters, coloured powder will be poured onto you from the people standing on the roadside. When you finish the game, or the run, when you finish the run, there's an even bigger colour feast waiting for you. The game would then turn into a kind of celebration at the end. Hundreds of people gather together to play with the colourful powders. Nobody is concerned about who he or she is. Nobody is too concerned about Nobody is too concerned about who he or she is. They just play and celebrate the end of the running. By celebration. They celebrate by celebration. Pardon? Nobody's too concerned about who he or she is. They just play and celebrate at the end of the run. The game is held annually in Beijing. The game is held annually in Beijing Olympic Forest Park, as it's such a huge place and has a nicely paved running trail around it. It's always held at the end of spring and beginning of summer, when the weather is neither too hot nor too cold. That's perfect for running. Many of my friends have taken part in this. Some even go to the game every year. It's kind of infectious. You would be immediately attracted to it for its vitality and passion. I've seen many pictures of the big smiles on the faces of those participants. I feel it's an event that makes people happy and alive. It helps people forget. It helps people forget about their identity and troubles for a while and enjoy the moment of celebration, regardless of their daily chores.
I'm going to talk about the success of a very good friend of mine whose name is Liu Zhang. We were high school classmates. Actually, we were desk mates, so we would do a lot of things together, like studying together and walking home together. So his success was, he had this dream that he wanted to visit 30 countries by the time he turned 30. Now we're both 29 years old and he has been to 35 countries, which is amazing. It's an unbelievable achievement. Out of all of these countries that he's visited, there are some popular ones, including the United States of America, the UK, France, Australia, and so on. But there are also some countries that are off the beaten track, like Brunei, Cyprus, and the Cook Islands. For example, he just came back from the Cook Islands last month. He told me that the country was basically heaven on earth. It was really beautiful. It was breathtakingly beautiful. And he went skydiving there. He went scuba diving there. All of these things are things I want to try myself. So what he did, well, he just visited those countries, right? And now he's a photographer. His job is just sharing photos on social media, which I think is really good because this kind of job allows him to do whatever he wants to do, which is traveling the world. So yeah, honestly, I really envy him. I wish I had the same kind of lifestyle, but we're different now. I work in an office. I have a 9 to 5 job, so it's pretty hard for me to go to my boss and say that I want a month off because I want to go traveling. But anyway, I do envy my friend. Well, I'm going to talk about the time that I visited Luke in the United States. Luke is one of my closest friends, and we see eye to eye on most things. For example, we both believe traveling is one of the most important things in life. Tasting different kinds of food is very enjoyable. And also, Manchester United from England is our favorite soccer club, and because of that, he has to be my best friend. Luke has been living in California for the last 2 years, so he moved there 2 years ago. And I don't like this because now I don't get to see him as often as I want. The time I visited him was last year during the Spring Festival holiday. I had 7 days off, and I just thought that I might as well go to the US to visit Luke. And he kept me company for 7 days throughout my whole trip. And that was amazing. So we visited a lot of fantastic places. For example, we drove down from San Francisco to LA on California Highway 1. That was an unbelievable journey because we were driving next to the Pacific Ocean and the scenery was spectacularly beautiful. And also in Los Angeles, we visited Beverly Hills and Universal Studios, and we had a lot of fun in these places. How I felt about it? Well, I felt it was really good. I mean, it was awesome because I hadn't seen Luke for about a year, and I had been really missing him. And then when I got to see him again, when we just stayed together for 7 days and visited so many places, I think that was really awesome. I like that trip in America with Luke.
Describe a success your friend has achieved. You should say who your friend is, what the success was, what he or she did, how you felt about the success. Well, several months ago, my friend Albert won the first prize in a garden competition about a new hotel, and designers were asked to show the beauty of this city. Since Albert majored in architecture, he searched for much information and was attracted by a special style called Chinese Baroque, which is a mix of cultures. It appeared in 1920s when the foreign culture came into China. Unfortunately, most of those buildings have been destroyed in the war. What a pity! So Albert decided to rebuild this kind of building, and in his plan, the hotel on the whole would be white, which is common in Baroque, but there will also be patterns from Chinese culture. For example, on the walls, there would be grapes which represent money or deer for health. Meanwhile, the hotel should house all kinds of old things, for example, coffee pots, posters about old films, and oil paintings. Moreover, not all those objects are still. Some should be put in use. For example, people can listen to music on old records, even enjoy a black and white film in the old days. Finally, Albert's design was picked because it can create a good atmosphere in the hotel. I'm so happy for his success and he surely deserves it.
Describe a friend who you think is a good leader. You should say who the friend is, how you first met, how other people behave towards him or her, and explain why you think he or she is a good leader. The person I'd like to talk about is my classmate at university, Frank. It was in a work placement that I discovered his leadership qualities. I was a fourth-year student. I did not have hands-on experience, so I decided to take advice from the job center and join the work placement project. I hoped that I could learn how to adapt to the workplace by working in a large company. Frank worked together with me and other interns. He was very prudent and dealt with everything carefully. For example, checking all reports we did to ensure there was no typos and flaws. He also had outstanding organizational skills. He could manage to complete tasks on time. Sometimes we did not work very well, but he did not complain and scold me, provided us with support and practical advice. All interns were happy to talk to him, and he could get along well with everybody. I also saw many of my colleagues take his advice and respect his decision. I think he would be a good leader. He's the one who can help others make greater progress. He's also a good role model in the workplace, and he has extraordinary communication skills.
Describe something interesting that your friend has done but you haven't. You should say what it was, where your friend did it, and when your friend did it, and explain why it was interesting. This reminds me of the high school graduation trip I missed. My friends and I had planned for weeks, trying to find something remarkable to do as a witness to our graduation. You know, high school graduates love to do something cool because we officially entered adulthood. After thorough discussion, we finally decided to try bungee jumping in Macau. We booked the flight and hotels, everything was settled, but I somehow had a high fever on the day we made the appointment for the jump. Because of my physical condition, I wasn't even allowed to get to the top of the tower. In that evening, my friends brought back the videos about how they jumped off the tower, screaming hysterically. They also shared with me the experience. All of them said that they wouldn't try it a second time as their hearts almost jumped out of their chest. I'm not gonna lie, I felt so bad about not being able to make it. I wish I could have done it with my friends. It would be such an amazing experience.
Okay, here is the part 2 topic of Describe a Friend. Let's have a listen to some of these samples. Here's the first one.
Describe a friend who has played an important part in your life. You should say how you met this person. How long have you known him?
How long you have known him or her.
Her. The kind of things you do or did with him or her. Explain why this person has been important in your life.
Okay, so some problems with the prompt there. Anyway, let's move on.
Whenever being asked about who the person have a significant role played in my life is...
Okay, so this woman right off the bat is trying to use some complicated grammar, but she's getting it wrong here. Whenever being asked, whenever asked about the person who has played a significant role in my life. So she really got this first part wrong. Okay, so whenever asked, or whenever I'm asked, or just whenever asked about the person who has played a significant role, roles accountable, in my life.
And have a significant role played in my life is...
And I don't know why there's a 2 there. Role 2. Anyway, no 2.
I always answer that is my best friend called Nyung. The first time I met her was 5 years ago when we were studying at my high school. At that time, for me, she was no one rather than a distant classmate.
She was no one rather than a distant classmate. This is a very unusual way to say this. She was only a distant classmate. She was no one other than, but not rather than. She was no one other than a distant classmate. She was only a distant classmate.
Since I thought that she was kind of not my cup of tea.
We can't describe people as not being your cup of tea. Doing things cannot be your cup of tea. People cannot be your cup of tea. She was not my type. She was not my type. Or she was not the kind of person I liked. Or my type. Not cup of tea. Say type.
Cup of tea. However, time has gone by.
Whoa, what is going on here? Let's fix that I had there.
Tea. However, time has gone by, and I had more time.
I have had more time. Time has gone by. I have had more time.
To talk and to share with her.
Share needs a direct object. Share with her. What did you share? You can't just have an indirect object after the preposition. You can't say share with her. Share what with her? What did you share with her?
Share with her. We often hang out with each other after class.
No, wait a second. Wait. I made a mistake here.
We often hang out with each other.
Okay, no. You should say hang. Yeah.
The classes or when shopping with...
I'm sure she means went. I think she's trying to use the past tense. So we often hung out with each other. Past tense of hang is hung. We often hung out or went shopping, but she said when. I'm going to leave it as when here because I'm not 100% sure. I'm guessing she means went.
After classes or when shopping, which...
Sounds like when. But I think it's went. When shopping. Alright. We often hung out. Yeah, that's fine. Or when shopping. Yeah. But here she's using the present tense again, which help us.
Have us to get away.
Why is she using the present tense?
Which have us to get away from it all.
Which helped us get away from it all? Away from it all. That's a nice phrase. Like if you want to escape for a little bit, you just want to take a break from everything, you want to get away from it all.
Recharge ourselves.
This one I don't know. We want to ourselves.
Recharge ourselves.
I don't know.
Well, ever since then...
Since, it's not sin, it's since.
We got closer and closer.
If you're going to use ever since, you're going to have to use the present perfect tense. So ever since then, we have gotten. Ever since then, we have gotten. Ever since, present perfect tense.
And we got closer and closer. Now she's my beloved soulmate.
It's not saltmate, it's soulmate. Soulmate.
That I can't imagine how terrible and lonely my life would be if someday she disappeared.
Now here, this phrase has a subject here, I. So there's no that. There's not that I. It's just I. I can't imagine. Here's the subject. Here's the verb. We don't need this relative clause.
Terrible and lonely my life would be if someday she disappeared. Frankly, I'm quite into her tactfulness. What I mean here is she seldom kind of cuts somebody to the quick.
Okay, so here we have an idiom to cut somebody to the quick. It's like to make a hurtful remark about somebody. Frankly, yeah, I guess here she uses frankly correctly. And I also like the quite. I'm quite into her. That sort of thing. I would just say be careful using phrases like that sort of thing or something like that. Be more specific with what you say.
Or that sort of thing. Well, maybe that is the reason why we have never had any row so far.
I think she means row. Not row. Row. That's why we've never had any row so far. she mispronounces a lot of words. We've never had any row so far.
Never had any row so far.
Maybe she is saying row.
Boy, we have never had any row so far.
I think I need to edit the tactfulness here. Yeah, that's a good phrase. Let's see, we are gonna get an example.
Luckily, I'm quite into her tactfulness. What I mean here is she seldom kind of cuts somebody to the quick or that sort of thing.
This idiomatic phrase, cut somebody to the quick, is like to make, I don't know, like a hurtful remark about someone, to hurt somebody's feelings. That's very good. What's not so good is that sort of thing. Just be careful with using phrases like this. Be specific. Otherwise, it sounds like you don't have the vocabulary you need to express yourself.
Well, maybe that is the reason why we have never had any row so far. What's more, it is she who gives me useful advice when I am in trouble.
It is she who gives me useful advice. This is very good. Again, a mispronunciation. It's when I'm in trouble.
Being with her, I don't have...
Again here, being with her. Why is there a D at the end? Being with her.
I don't have to keep anything quiet because she is such a thoughtful listener that I can let all things down.
I'm guessing she said out, but it sounds like down.
Let all things down. And to be honest, not only am I in debt to her, but so
not only might I be in debt to her, not only might I be in debt to her,
so treasure this priceless friendship.
Oh no, what is this last word?
Priceless friendship.
Brightless? I don't know. Let's see, the length is okay. It comes in at just under 2 minutes, like 1:55. That's pretty good. We saw some good vocabulary like treasure. What else? Thoughtful listener. Let everything out. Debt. We had an idiomatic phrase here. Cut somebody to the quick. Good vocabulary. Some errors with the grammar. The grammar and the pronunciation, I think, were the two biggest problems here. Vocabulary, quite good. All right, here is sample 2.
My best friend is Ray. He is my university classmate.
Oh boy. Whoa, this one is very short.
Ray is a handsome guy.
Look at these sentences here. They're all very short. One verb, one verb, one verb. And they're all the same verb. Is.
He likes basketball, and so do I.
Good grief. Was I asleep when I did this? Okay, let's try to fix this. And so do I. Okay, so we see error-free sentences, but we see every single sentence so far. Well, that's been a simple sentence.
He likes basketball, and so do I. We always play basketball together, and we won a lot of matches under his leadership.
Okay, here we go. Here we have a prepositional phrase, under his leadership. Okay, that's pretty good.
We won a lot of matches under his leadership. He has the ability to deal with troubles, and we trust him. So our class is the best one in our department. He's a friendly boy, and he gives me a lot of help. For example, he bought medicine and food for me when I was ill. We are both interested in Western film.
Western films. Okay.
And we often go to cinema together.
The cinema. Often go to the cinema.
And because we know that English is essential to us in future.
The future. Well, if it's the future, it will be essential to us in the future. Will be the future.
We go to the English corner to practice our spoken English.
And that's the whole thing. Yeah, this is way too short. I think this is less than a minute long. Let me make sure. Less than a minute. Okay, ridiculously short. Way under length. That you can't give a part 2 response that's short. that is that short. All right, here is sample 3. I'm not going to say much about the content. It was somebody reading something. The grammar got better towards the end. In the beginning, we had all those simple sentences. The guy was reading. I can't really say much about the pronunciation.
There is a person
This one is going to be the same.
who is very important to me in my life. She is my best friend, Wang Shujiao. We have known each other for a long time, and she and I were in the same kindergarten and the same primary school.
Okay. We've got the present perfect tense here. We've got the correct use of the past tense. Let's see.
Both her mother and my mother worked in the same middle school as teachers. We often went to their working place together.
It's workplace, not working place. We often went to their workplace together.
To do our homework or play games. We were both very active, and we often caught butterflies or dragonflies and then set them free.
Interesting.
Now we grow up.
No, not now we grow up. Now we've grown up. I mean, you finished growing up. Now we have grown up.
Work in different cities, but we call each other regularly to talk about our own families.
Okay, so here she switches to the present tense because she's talking about things that are happening right now, or things that are true right now, rather.
Whenever I have the chance to go on business to her city, I will visit her. And we go to pubs or cafes, and she goes shopping with me.
Also using the present tense, yeah.
When I have troubles in my life, she is going to comfort me and make...
Now we go to the present continuous tense. I'm not sure. Why not just say, whenever I have troubles in my life, she comforts me? Why is there a going to here? She's been using the present tense throughout this description of their relationship right now, and now she switches to going to.
Feel good.
Feel good. Good is not the best word to use. Makes me feel, well, I don't know, if someone comforts you, you feel comforted, right? Okay, let's see the length here. Man, I'm horrible at math. This is just under 4 minutes. Oh, this is 1 minute. Again, a ridiculously short response. We saw a greater variety of grammar, but for the vocabulary, I mean, like here, she got workplace wrong. We got pretty simple vocabulary here. We got kindergarten, important, active. Grammar is good, but vocabulary, pretty simple. No examples. Maybe comfort is a verb. But, okay, one example here. I don't think a lot of people use comfort as a verb. Very few examples of less common vocabulary. Overall, very simple vocabulary. Here is sample 4.
This topic makes me so happy. I'd like to talk about my childhood friend Amy, who I practically grew up together with.
Okay, look at this here. Practically. This is an example of less common vocabulary. Not many people are going to use practically in front of the verb like this. It means like pretty much, almost, practically. That is an example of less common vocabulary.
Practically grew up together with. We met in kindergarten. I know
Very similar to the previous response.
many people may not remember anything from kindergarten, but I remember her clearly.
Here we got the adverb clearly.
Because we went to the same primary school, middle school, and
Primary school, middle school, and high school. Hopefully it goes down here. Let's see.
high school until it
It did. Oh, I talked over this part.
in high school until we decided to attend
Ooh, decided. It's not decided, it's decided. Until we decided.
Different universities.
Attend?
But we are in close contact with each other. We talk or text each other about almost every detail in our life.
Text. Yeah, that might be. It's not really idiomatic, but maybe it's a less common word. If you're using text as a verb, I don't hear too many people say that.
Other.
Close and contact, these two words also go together very well. Actually, in also. In close contact. That is a nice collocation.
Or text each other about almost every detail in our life. She's like the other half of me, or even the better half.
Okay, now we're getting to some really good language here. The other half of me, or even the better half. She's my better half. Now, usually when we say better half, we mean like boyfriend, girlfriend. I guess here she's trying to say, what's the woman's name? Amy, I forgot. But anyway, so here she's saying this friend is a really good friend, I guess.
She's pretty amiable.
Amiable, great word, very friendly.
Like her name. Whenever I have a problem, she's always the one I turn to.
Turn to, nice phrasal verb.
So you could see how much we are like in need of each other.
Well, I don't know how I would see that. I've never met any of you.
As for what we did together, that would be...
This is a great way to introduce the next cue. Because maybe you're asked to talk about what you and your friend do together or what you and your friend did together. So as for what we did together, now you show that you're talking about a different topic, different cue.
Lot. But the most memorable things should be the trips we took after secondary school graduations.
Okay, some problems here. I don't know why this is should. The most memorable things would be, not should be. Now, I'm a little bit confused about this. After our secondary school graduations, but why is this plural? How many graduations are there? It's only one, right? So after our secondary school graduation.
We planned the trips and...
But here she said trips again, so I'm a little bit confused. Maybe there were more than one graduation?
Traveled to Hainan Island and Phuket, Thailand.
No, wait a second, did she say Thailand or Thailand?
Island and Phuket, Thailand.
She did say Thailand, didn't she? It's Thailand. Let me put it in. Alright, it is Thailand, not Thailand.
And Phuket, Thailand. We did water sports and ate bizarre food. Those were great memories.
Bizarre food. I don't know. I've been to Thailand. Never saw any bizarre food there. Exotic food?
I'm truly...
Oh, wait, hang on a second. Those were great memories. Well, that means you can't remember them now. Why is she using the past tense? Those are great memories.
We did water sports and ate bizarre food. Those were great memories.
No, if you can remember something now, it is still a memory. So those are great memories.
I'm truly lucky to have a real friend like her. I cannot think of anything that could set us apart.
Break us apart. I can't think of anything that would break us apart or could break us apart. Not set. If something sets you apart, it means you are much better than the main group. I don't think that's what she means. Break us apart. Alright, here's sample 5.
Well, I would like to talk about one of my friend who encouraged me to achieve my goal as organizing.
Okay, first thing, the way this woman talks, there's no pausing. Her voice is just flat at exactly the same pace all the time. Okay, what is she saying here? I kind of miss what she said. Who encouraged me to achieve my goal, okay?
Achieve my goal as...
It's not as, it's of. Achieve my goal of organizing
a French musical play, and she was one of my classmates. We all majored in French and English. Although she...
Okay, a little bit of stress on although. Let's hear that again.
In French and English. Although she is not as tall as me, she...
Not as tall as me. Well, she got this comparative language right. As tall as me, yeah.
Is more determined than me. When I was a sophomore, I came up with an idea of
And here for idea, we see came up with an idea. That's good language.
I came up with an idea of organizing a French musical play.
Frenchman, no. Don't say that. Say what you said here. French. Not Frenchman. French.
French musical play. But after I expressed my idea to my classmates,
We saw a little pause there. So there's some chunking. She pauses sometimes, but very infrequently, and it's very flat.
started to hesitate to do this activity. I felt stressed and nervous because I have no
So now she used the past tense pretty well, but now here she slips back to the present tense because I had no related experience. Related experience, yeah, that's good. Or maybe previous experience. I didn't have any previous experience.
the experience before, and
But if you're going to say previous experience, there's no before. If you're going to say related experience, you can say before, but not. I didn't have any related experience before. I had no related experience before. No. There's no before. It doesn't matter if it's related or if it's previous. There's no before, because experience is always going to come before now. Otherwise, it's not experience. You don't need the before for that.
before. And at that time, Anne came to me, and she encouraged me,
Oh boy, okay, here we see some breakdown. I can look at this. She's not saying a whole lot of words in this time frame here.
Encouraged me, and she also said she counted on me, and she also helped me.
How many times is this woman going to say and? She's killing it with ands, but you can't use and that many times. For coherence and for fluency and coherence, I'm thinking 5. No, she speaks too slowly, and she really overuses and here.
She also said she counted on me, and she also helped me to organize some rehearsals.
Rehearsals is a good word, but again, another and. Yeah, rehearsals. Okay, organize some rehearsals. Vocabulary is pretty good, but fluency and coherence and pronunciation, how can you get more than a 5?
Some rehearsals. Because of
That's not very fluent, is it?
her encouragements.
Encouragement is not a countable noun. So because of her encouragement, I started to gain, there's no my, I started to gain confidence.
I started to gain my confidence.
No, started to gain confidence.
Organizing this activity.
But she keeps on using the noun phrase. That's good. Organizing this activity. That's good. Oh, here we go back with the and again.
And in the end, with hard work of me.
No. And in the end, through our hard work, we succeeded.
Of me and all our classmates, we succeeded in the club gala, and we.
Why don't you say in the end? In the end, we received the best. What did they receive? In the end, we received the best performance reward. And here's another and. Overusing and. She relies way too much on the word and.
Club gala, and we received the best performance award, and the encouragement, has helped me a lot.
Now, I'm not quite sure why this is the present perfect tense. Maybe she received some other help after that. Maybe she continues to receive help from her friend. I don't know. The vocabulary and the grammar is not bad. Maybe she can get a 6 for that. But the fluency and coherence and pronunciation, how can you get more than a 5 for that? Alright, here's sample 6.
Well, today I'm going to talk about the verb.
Okay, this woman really speaks fast. Too bad.
A good friend of mine whose name is Fei. He was the best friend of mine, and he...
I'm going to talk about a very good friend of mine. His name is Fei. He was my best friend. It's not best friend of mine. He was the best friend of mine. Why did you say he was my best friend? Best friend of mine, if you want to.
Was the best friend of mine, and he is still my best friend.
Oh, why didn't you just say he's my best friend then?
Because we always hang out. Fei is quite extroverted and positive because he always had a positive outlook on life.
Okay, so she's mixing up the tenses here because she goes from present tense, phase, to had. Why? Why switch to the past tense? Vocabulary, look at this. We've got positive, we got extroverted. Yeah, that's good. He always say. Oh boy.
Because he always had a positive outlook on life.
Oh, I forgot about this. Positive outlook on life. Yeah, that's a very nice phrase. He has a positive outlook on life, yeah. Looks on the bright side of life.
And he always say...
But then we have some basic errors here. He say. Oh boy.
Would be the best actor in China.
Would be. Why would? He's going to be the best actor in China?
So it shows that Fei is quite ambitious.
Ambitious is a good word. It shows his ambition. It shows he is ambitious.
And I remember I met him when we were 6 years old, and that was the first year of primary school. It was September the 1st, the first day of the primary school, and
why not just say I met him on the first day of primary school, which was September 1st? Okay, she broke it up into many pieces. Not sure that all these pieces are necessary.
It was September the 1st, the first day of the primary school.
There's no the first day of primary school.
And I remember I walked into the classroom and...
Let's just switching to the present tense again. I remember I walked
into the classroom and I sat down.
So it's just mixing tenses, going from the present to the past.
And the face...
Oh boy, and now she's saying the Fei. There's no the before a name. And now she's using the present continuous.
Next to me, and so we began to introduce to each other.
We began. Why began? We introduced ourselves. So Fei sat next to me and we introduced ourselves and we really hit it off.
And I found we really hit it off.
Hit it off is a good phrase. We really got along well. We really hit it off. We introduced each other. What am I saying? Why am I reading this? We introduced ourselves. We introduced ourselves and we actually quite hit it off well.
So we've been best friends.
And maybe ever since. So we've been best friends ever since.
Yeah, because we've been good friends ever since.
Oh, here she says it now. Okay.
So we were inseparable.
This is crazy. I don't understand why is she using the past tense here now? We've been good friends ever since. So now we are inseparable. Okay, so here we've been best friend. Wait a second. Okay, so here we've been good friends ever since, meaning we are good friends now. So if you're good friends now, then why is this in the past tense? So we are inseparable. That is to say, we do everything together. If you're using the present perfect tense, you can't go back and use the past tense then. That doesn't work.
did everything together. For example, we went to school together and went back home together, and always
Little bit confused about what's going on here. But anyway, why doesn't she pause just a little bit here?
to say we did everything together. For example,
Like here, we did everything together. For example, just a little bit of a pause there. We're into school together. There's this word here I couldn't quite make out. What was that?
and went back home together, and every Saturday we
Oh, I guess it's every.
used to when we used to go to the park and play.
Did I make a mistake here?
Saturday we used to go to the
No, she said when.
park and play soccer together with some of our other friends. So yeah. And another
So yeah. I'm not sure what this. So yeah, what's the purpose of this?
thing that worth mentioning is
Another thing that is worth mentioning.
that our parents get along well as well.
Back to the present tense. Okay, so another thing that I should mention is our parents get along well. But then here, get, present tense, and then she goes to the past tense. Confusing.
Yeah, because we always went to their apartment and had meals.
And it's past tense, present tense. We always went to their apartment and have meals. So she's all over the place with the tenses. I don't know if this is happening now, if it happened in the past.
Together, and they always went to my apartment too. I think we've been good friends ever since, mainly because
This word is mainly, not many.
we have a lot in common. That is to say, we are on the same wavelength.
Okay. If you agree with someone, you're on the same wavelength. That's true. I think this is the start of a new sentence. I should probably capitalize that. Okay, so yeah, good idiomatic phrase here. We're on the same wavelength. That's not bad. It's not exactly the same as to have a lot in common. To be on the same wavelength means to agree on something.
On the same wavelength. We are both outgoing and positive, and we both like playing soccer. Yeah.
Okay, she relies a little bit too much on the yes, so.
So, you know what they say, birds of feather flock together.
Okay, well, she kind of messed this idiom up at the end. Birds of a feather flock together. It's not block. Birds of a feather. It's an idiom. So you can't really change the words. It's got to be birds of a feather flock together. Good idiom, but she kind of got it wrong. I don't really have much to say about that one. I just wish she would speak a little more slowly and pause more. Let's have a listen to sample 7.
I did like to talk about Vivian, a friend I met on summer camp at school. We were assigned roommates.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so this woman is obviously reading. She's got pronunciation. I put it around about a 5. Very flat. Seems to have quite a strong accent.
We were assigned roommates and met in
Assigned.
the dorm from the first time.
You can meet from a certain time. We met in the dorm. We were assigned roommates and met in the dorm where we stayed, but not from the first time. You can meet somebody and then continue meeting them. So it can't be from the first time.
I remember she had a short black hair.
Hair is not countable, so there's no
Hair and a round face. At that time, I just transferred.
See, this happens, or happened rather. This happened before meeting, what is her name? Vivian. This happened before meeting Vivian. Before meeting Vivian, she had transferred. So it's got to be, I had just transferred to the school. Had.
Face. At that time, I just transferred to the school and didn't have any friends. Also, I wasn't good at making new friends, so I felt a little lonely and helpless.
Okay.
She noticed that and tried to help me fit in by
Fit in. Help me fit in. Fit in is a good phrase. Accompanying is also, that's a great word.
me
By V-I-N-G, accompanying me to the canteen. That's good.
to the canteen, doing homework with me, and introducing new friends to me.
And something else that's really good is she keeps using nouns. Accompanying me, doing homework with me, introducing new friends to me, ing. Good. I think a lot of people would make mistakes with that.
To me. After the summer camp, thanks to her, I found myself enjoying the new environment.
Okay, it's very obvious she's reading, but it's some good language here. I found myself, that's great. I found myself, V-I-N-G, enjoying the new environment.
I'm more outgoing.
Ooh, but now she's going to the present tense. Why present tense? Past tense, now present tense.
Than before.
Now, wait a second. Is she a student now? I don't know. I'm not sure. Okay. No, maybe this is okay. I'm more outgoing now. Maybe she's talking about the present.
I'm more outgoing than before. The most important thing was she was the first.
The most important thing is it's still important, right? So it wasn't important. It still is.
Person I could really open myself up to.
Good phrase. To open yourself up to someone. It's like to open or to honestly talk to someone about, well, just about anything.
First person I could really open myself up to.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we could be good friends forever. Unfortunately, she transferred to another school.
It's not an other school, it's another. She transferred to another school the next semester. I do like the fact that she uses unfortunately. These adverbs that show your attitude, those are always a good idea to use, I'd say.
The next semester, it wasn't easy for me to say goodbye to her. I felt like it was the end of something.
I just wish this woman would pause. Good grief. Oh. And maybe just use some phrases to join the sentences together more naturally. It wasn't easy for me to say goodbye to her. I felt, this maybe like throwing a here. I felt like it was the end of something. It was the end of something. But anyway, just join these ideas together a little bit better, and please pause.
Like it was the end of something, and there was part of me.
There was a part of me.
And left with her.
Ooh, I think this should be that. There was a part of me that left with her, not then.
And there was part of me that left with her.
There was a part of me that left with her.
However, not only.
Okay, here we go. Here is a linker, however.
Did she not forget about me? She came back to visit as much as she could.
Okay, here's some good language here also. Not only did she, but she came back to visit me. Okay, so not only, that's a great phrase. Not only did she not do this, she actually did this. That's good. You don't hear that too much.
Me, she came back to visit as much as she could and helped me go through all troubles I encountered.
Well, I don't think she helped you go through, she helped me get through all the troubles I encountered. Get through all the troubles.
I feel so lucky to have a friend like her.
Well, she was obviously reading. I don't know. I don't want to say anything about that. Let's listen to sample 8.
Describe a friend who you think is a good leader. Danny, who is my classmate as well as my friend in my middle school.
Well, everyone is reading here. This one is reading a bit faster. Okay.
Is an excellent leader in my
An excellent leader in my eyes. In my eyes is good, like in my opinion.
eyes. She displays numerous leadership qualities.
Qualities.
She is diligent, responsible, and considerate.
Okay, so these are definitely leadership qualities: being diligent, being responsible, being considerate. Good.
She developed a good habit of listening to
She has developed. She has developed a good habit of VING.
others carefully, and her patience is extraordinary. She is the one who inspires me to do what I want to.
Okay, so she's relying quite a bit on these relative clauses. Who is my classmate? She's the one who inspires me.
One who inspires me to do what I want to. We first met on the first
Met, not might.
day of my grade 7.
You should say we first met on the first day of grade 7, not of my. There's no my.
She was an exchange student.
An exchange student. She was an exchange student.
Was transferred to my
Another who. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you use relative clauses correctly, it's at least a 6 for grammar. How did you pronounce exchange? Exchange.
We first met on the first day of my grade 7. She was an exchange student who
Yes, exchange.
transferred to my school. At the first sight, I knew she
There's no the here. At first sight, I knew she was a special girl. I wish this woman would just get some intonation going in her voice, but everything is flat.
was a special girl because when the teachers asked her to introduce herself to us, she didn't feel shy at all. She was quite relaxed in the new environment. From that day on,
Environment.
from that day on,
Okay, well, okay, the grammar here is quite good, but I really like this from that day on. So we know where we are in the story. So after this, the next thing happened. After introducing herself, she made a, well, let's see what she made.
she made a lot of friends quickly, and everyone seemed to enjoy her company. She was so kind-hearted as to always help others. She also kept a good relationship with the teachers. She talked and even joked with the teachers, just like friends.
Okay, here's the first stress I hear. It's just like friends.
Talked and even joked with the teachers, just like friends.
Okay. One example of stress.
In my eyes.
Now, hang on a second. Did she say this here in the beginning? In my eyes. Okay, it's not such a big deal. You can use phrases twice. Just don't rely on them.
In my eyes, the leadership of her is most.
It's not leadership, not readership.
In my eyes, the leadership of her.
No. It's not the leadership of her. It's her leadership. Her leadership is most evident, and the fact
is most evident in the fact that she can successfully organize activities. She can always arouse others' enthusiasm.
This is pretty good. Arouse and enthusiasm. These two go together quite well.
Cooperation in these activities.
During these in these activities. It's okay. In these activities. All right.
I remember she successfully organized the
Oh, look at this adverb going with the verb. Successfully organized.
Debate competition and a New Year's party in my class. She first collected others' ideas, then solved the conflicts, and put forward a solution which...
I mean, this is really good. I mean, like, collected ideas, that's fine, but this is much better. Look at this here. Put forward a solution. These go together so well. Really good. It's just a pity that this woman is reading, and she's reading so fast.
Everyone was pleased with.
And we have a relative clause here, which everyone was pleased with.
The teachers were all satisfied with her plan. Besides all this,
subtitle this. Okay, that's another phrase telling us we can hear another idea. That's pretty good.
She is also versatile. She can dance well and play the piano.
I'm not sure about the versatile. What does that mean? She's also versatile. She can dance well and she can play the piano. What does that mean? She has a lot of interests? I'm not sure. Or she's multi-talented? I think there are better words than versatile. Multi-talented?
And dance well and play the piano.
Mm-hmm.
In many ways, I look up to her, and she is kind of a role model to me. I really hope that I can develop based on her example.
Okay. Pronunciation is really not very good. The delivery was too fast. She didn't pause. No intonation. Very little stress. Good content though. Let's look at sample 9.
Let me tell you about
Okay, here's quite the opposite. It's very slow.
success my friend Xiaowei has won in a singing competition.
Okay, but we don't win success. Tell me about success my friend has achieved. You can achieve success. Let's not say win.
Friend Xiaowei has won in a singing competition.
Singing competition.
Xiaowei is my classmate and one of my best friends.
One of my best friends.
We play together and study together.
Okay.
But
play. Oh, that's a word a lot of Chinese speakers use. Be careful with play if you are... is this university? Oh, I don't know. If it's not elementary school, I don't think you really play together. I mean, play in English really means play, like play games and things. If you're a Chinese speaker, just be careful with how you use the word play.
And study together, but at that time I didn't.
At that time? What time? I don't know. What does that refer to? The referencing is not very clear to me.
At that time, I didn't know she was keen on singing.
This is a good phrase. Keen on VIG.
When the compass singing.
Can't make out this one.
Singing. When the compass singing.
Nope.
Competition was coming. She asked me to sign up with her.
Okay, well this is good. Sign up. If you want to join a competition, you need to sign up. That's a good phrase to use. When the competition was coming. Why not say when the competition was approaching? I mean, coming is okay, but why not say approaching?
I was extremely surprised because she was going to give a solo show.
Do a solo show.
The competition was shown on the TV.
Shown. The competition was shown.
In every classroom that day, most of the players had a 2 people or more people's group.
Okay, here she's losing me a little bit. If you take part in a competition, you are a contestant. So most of the contestants were in groups of 2 or more, I think. That's what she's trying to say. Most of the contestants were in groups of 2 or more.
People or more people's group, but Xiaowei was alone. When she was singing, the voice she sang was...
The voice she sang. I don't think you can sing a voice. When she was singing, her voice was so graceful. Her voice was so graceful.
So grateful and profound that everybody felt in it.
Everybody felt it. There's no in. Everyone felt it. Okay?
After the results came out.
This is pretty good. Results do come out. when they were released, yeah? Had one.
Zhao Wei has won the second prize in the competition. It was really a successful experience to her.
It was really a successful experience to her. It was a success for her. Let's say that. It was a success for her.
It made her.
As it made her. It made her.
Develop.
There's no ed here. It made her develop the confidence.
Confident.
Wait a second, what's going on here? I should listen to this again.
Develop the confidence.
Okay, there's no the. As it made her develop confidence.
Confidence and gain a special experience.
I think you said right.
And gain a special.
No. This is okay. Gain a special experience. Yeah, I I don't think here she means experience as in work experience or other kinds of experience. I don't know if this was for say. That doesn't sound right. Okay, so it was really because here she already talked about experience, and I think this is okay. So it was really a success for her, as it made her develop more confidence. But then let's leave out this last part, or you can say and it was a special experience, but let's leave out the gain. And it was a special experience. Okay, this seems to be under length. How long is this? 14:30. It's about 1 minute and 25 seconds. So under length. She read very slowly. A lot of mispronunciations. Some problems with the language. Let's move on to sample 10.
Well, today I would like to tell you about a successful achievement
Okay, this is quite the opposite. This woman is... her voice is all over the place. This doesn't sound natural at all. Her voice is rising and falling for no reason.
friend achieved 2 years ago. At that time,
that's not natural.
quite liked swimming.
At the time, I quite liked swimming. There's no duh.
I quite liked swimming in a swimming pool.
Oh, good grief. In a swimming pool. Okay, so I quite liked swimming in a pool. I quite liked swimming in a swimming pool.
In a swimming pool, which was nearby my house.
Uh-huh.
But swimming alone was so boring. I wanted a person to swim with me together.
There's no together. I wanted somebody to swim with.
But my parents was too
My parents were too
busy to swim with me. So I asked my best friend Mary to swim with me, and she agreed it.
Okay, there's no it. She agreed. I asked her to join me for a swim, and she agreed.
When we went to swim, I knew that Mary was very good at swimming at all.
She was very good at swimming at all. I don't know why this is here. I knew she was very good at swimming. There's no at all.
However, she would take part in a swimming contest next week.
Now, can she swim or not? She was good or she was not good?
To swim, I knew that Mary was very good at swimming at all.
I'm confused. Why is there a however? However, there's going to be a competition, so why however?
However, she would take part in a swimming contest next week.
Now, this is in the past. Next week is next week, in the future. So she was going to take part in a swimming contest the following week. If this happened in the past, you can't say next week. It has to be the the following week, not next week.
Of course, I would go to watch it and record a video.
I don't know what this means. I would go to Woodshed? Why would you, of course, record a video? I don't understand.
When the contest started.
Contest started. Why is this capitalized?
The whole audience cheered up for the
It's not cheered up. Cheered up means to be happy. I think she means just cheered. The whole audience cheered for the person they supported. Okay? Cheered, not cheer up. Those are different things.
person they supported. I also cheered up for my best friend. At the beginning, my best
I can't get over this woman's voice.
Mary fell behind others.
Fell, not failed. In the beginning, Mary fell behind. There's no others. She fell behind. Yeah, maybe you can say others also. But you can just say she fell behind. It's okay. So she was last.
But I saw Mary tried as she might
I saw Mary try
to swim fast.
as you might. Why is it you?
But I saw Mary tried as she might to swim fast.
Oh, it is she. My bad. My bad. Usually when we say tried as she might, it means that she failed. So tried as she might, she failed. But does she succeed? Oh yeah, she did succeed. There's no as she might. So Mary tried to swim faster and then she got it right. So there's no as she might. This is if you don't succeed, you say this. Try as I might, I failed.
Faster. In the last 50 meters, Mary caught up with other rivals.
Well, they're not really I guess they're not rivals. Why don't we say competitors? So, what was it? 50 meters. So so with 50 meters to go, Mary eventually caught up with the other competitors.
Other rivals. Finally, she won the contest.
I think it's a competition, not a contest.
It was so nervous.
Okay. Here, I actually believe the stress. But it was so nervous. Things cannot be nervous. I was so nervous. Not it. Things cannot be nervous. Only people can be nervous.
Nervous because she finished more than 2 seconds ahead of
2 seconds ahead?
her nearest rival.
Nearest rival. Competitor. Rival. I guess rival is not wrong, okay?
Was so happy about she won the
I was so happy that she had won. Because this happened after this. So the thing that happened earlier has to be in the past perfect tense. I was so happy that she had won the contest.
I would have a party for her.
Why would? Did you have a party or not? I had a party for her? I threw a party for her? No would, right?
I would have a party for her in my house and asked our friends
Asked
to celebrate it.
What does the it refer to? Because the previous noun is party. You can't celebrate a party. So maybe ask our friends to celebrate Mary's success, but not the it. If you say it, then the listener is going to look for the previous noun. Well, it's not house, so is it party? What does the it refer to? Confusing referencing. Here is sample 11.
I like to talk about something my friend has achieved. Actually, he's my longtime friend.
Why actually?
Okay. He was the high school classmate of my
Actually again. Okay, he was my high school classmate. I'm not sure why this isn't actually. Why don't you just put it in the beginning? He's my longtime friend and high school classmate.
And we were classmates. So
Maybe she's desk mate. I don't know. Desk mates. Maybe she said desk mates.
Study together and
What? I don't understand. Is she saying study? Because it sounds like started.
just study together and walk home together.
Walked, I guess. Walked home together. Walked and walked. Wait a second. That can't be right. What?
Walk home together. We just do everything together. And
Okay. Present tense. I'm confused now. Is this high school? This should be past tense.
at that time, we promised to each other at.
Okay, so we promised each other. There's no to. We promised each other.
By the time we were 13, we have to travel to 13 different countries.
Okay, she's speaking fast. The grammar is confusing. So we made a promise that by the time we were 13, but this is high school. Aren't you already too old to make this promise? Did she say 30?
We promised to each other at by the time we were 13, we have to.
No, I hear 13. Okay, so by the time we turn 30, we would have 13. I don't know. By the time we turn 30, we would have to had traveled to
13 different.
I think here I actually hear 30. Okay, let's change that to 30. I don't know what to say. This should be 30, but really I hear 13. Okay, so by the time we turn 30, we would have had to travel to 30 different countries.
To 13 different countries, but now we were both.
Now we were. It's really confusing. Okay, so anyway, so here she's talking about things that might happen in the future or things that should happen in the future. So the future perfect, we would have to have traveled to 30 different countries.
But now we were both 90.
Did you get the numbers wrong? It's just adding to the confusion.
29, and he has been to 35 different countries. Some really popular countries like the USA and UK and the Australia. Yeah.
No, it's just Australia. There's no the.
Something like that.
What do you mean something like that? Australia is Australia. There's nothing like Australia. Oh, wait a second. I forgot the like. I'm criticizing her and I'm making mistakes as well. Something like that. I should drink more coffee. Okay, so Australia is Australia. There's nothing like Australia. So what is the purpose of saying something like that? I don't even understand that.
Yeah, something like that. And also he has been to some countries that's off the beaten track.
It's beaten, not beacon. Beaten.
Like the Brunei.
There's no the. Like Brunei.
And Cyprus.
Cyprus.
And also the Cook Islands.
Here there's the Cook Islands, yeah?
For example, he just came back from the Cook Island.
But if you say also the Cook Islands, and then you give an example, for example, he just came back from the Cook Islands. What is this an example of? The Cook Islands is an example of the Cook Islands? What are you saying?
He told me that it was the heaven on earth.
There's no the. It was heaven on earth. If it's a wonderful experience, if it's perfect, it's heaven on earth.
It's basically beautiful.
Well, something cannot really basically be beautiful. Let's drop the basically. If you say something is basically, it means like almost. So let's drop that. So it's beautiful. It's breathtakingly beautiful.
Breathtakingly beautiful, actually. So he did skydiving there.
There's no he went skydiving there.
And yeah, and this all the things are something I really want to have a try.
These are all things I would like to do. Now, I'm not sure what the things are, because she just mentioned skydiving. So what are the things? There's only one thing. Okay, so he went skydiving, and this is something I really want to try as well.
Have a try. And in terms of what he did, well, now...
What he did? What he does? You mean his job? Why is this in the past tense? And then she says now. What he did. In terms of what he did, well, now. That doesn't make sense. Now, was, is.
He's a photographer.
Photographer.
So he just...
Did she say photographers?
He's a photographer, so he just...
Oh, the S is here. Anyway, photographer.
Traveling all over.
So he just travels, just, no ing.
The world, and took some picture and shared it on the...
Why is he just taking one picture? So he travels the world taking pictures and sharing it on social media.
The world, and took some picture and shared it on the social media, and it's...
There's no duh. He shares it on his social media, or so just social media, but no duh.
I think it's a really good job because this allows him to do whatever he wants. Yeah. So how I feel about it?
How I feel?
His success. Well, I do envy.
Okay, this is not bad. I do envy him. Yeah, the do for stress, for emphasis.
Because all the things are something I...
Are something. Something is singular. So all those things are things I really wanted to try as well. But didn't she already say that? So all the things that he's accomplished are things that I want to put on my list of things to do too.
They want to have a try, yeah, like I just said.
It's not have a try, it's do too or try to.
And because now we are different.
And because now we are different. Well, I didn't see the cause and effect of anything here. I'm not sure what the sentence means.
Oh, I just working in office and...
I don't think she said working, right?
Oh, I just working in office.
Yeah, she didn't say that. Now I just work in an office. There we go, that's better.
Different. Now I just working in office and have a 9-to-5 job.
9-to-5 job? That's a good phrase.
So it's really hard for me to go to my boss and to tell him I really want...
Now she's speaking so fast again. You can't talk a person. You can tell a person. And tell him I really want to...
have a month off because I want to do some traveling. So, yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. So yeah, she relies on this too much. Here's another yeah.
Yeah. So I really want to have a life like him.
A life like his. It's his life. So a life like his.
Yeah. I really envy him.
Lots of mistakes. She spoke a little bit too quickly. And as always, she didn't really pause in the right places. There was some good language. I mean, it's not a terrible response. It's worthy of a 6, I'd say. Okay, here we go with sample 12.
Describe our friend you enjoy talking with. You should say who this person is, how you knew him or her.
Okay, a lot of things are unclear. This I couldn't quite make out. How you knew him, that means you don't know him now, which is impossible. If you don't know him now, how can you talk about him? So how you know him.
You knew him or her. what you usually talk about and explain why you want to talk to this person.
Lots of slurred speech here. This word is usually, this word is explain.
I have always been lucky enough to be surrounded by a large circle of friends.
Some language problems here also. A large circle of friends. Now, here we have a relative clause, who. Now, here we do have some good vocabulary. Incredibly supportive, compassionate, some nice adjectives. But this is a pretty basic mistake, not putting an article with a countable noun. A large circle of friends.
Who are incredibly supportive, compassionate, and open-minded. And everybody knows how precious it is to.
This word is precious. Everyone knows how precious it is. Everyone knows how precious it is to have such a gift. I mean, nice language. It's just a pity about the mispronunciation.
Such a gift, and I, of all people, know better than taking that for granted.
Language problems here. It's a good idea, but he doesn't pull it off. And I, of all people, know better than to take that for granted. Know better than to take that for granted.
That for granted. That's why I always make an effort to keep in touch with people.
See, he's speaking too fast. He doesn't pronounce the words accurately.
Become close with, and one of whom is my ex-boss.
One of whom? Why is there an and there? Okay, so no conjunctions with relative clauses. So, in touch with, what? In touch with people I've become close with, one of whom is my ex-boss.
My mentor, Ali. Admittedly, he's far from ordinary relationship.
He is far from ordinary relationship. People cannot be relationships. People are who you have relationships with. You can't say he is far from. Also, I don't know what this word is.
Ali. Admittedly, he's far from ordinary relationship for most people, but
don't know what this sentence means.
Ali and I, it came naturally.
For Ali and I, it came naturally.
We first met during the training course we both attended for a luxury soon-to-be open restaurant in town roughly 2 years ago.
Wow, this sounds a lot like something that's been written down. Okay, but this is good. Attended for, just one thing, restaurants are countable. So for a luxury, soon-to-be opened restaurant. Soon-to-be art... participle, soon to be opened, not open. Soon to be taken, soon to be eaten, soon to be opened.
Ali was our Filipino manager, and I was about to be a...
Why on earth did I put two I's there? Let's try that again.
Filipino manager, and I was about to be a hostage for the very first time.
I've got to tell you, this word sounds like hostage, but of course it can't be hostage. And I was about to be a something.
And I was about to be a hostage for the very first time.
Sounds like hostage. I don't think it's hostage, but I don't know what he's saying.
Every concept, every rule.
Here's a nice pause. Every concept, every rule.
And every etiquette with what.
I'm guessing the word he's trying to say is etiquette. Every etiquette
in hospitality industry just overwhelmed me.
Overwhelmed me.
Working in hospitality.
Is it will working? What is he saying here?
Every etiquette with working in hospitality industry.
Okay, so if the word is etiquette, it should be and every etiquette of working in the hospitality industry just overwhelmed me. Every etiquette of working in the hospitality industry just overwhelmed me. For industries are countable, so we need in the preposition is in.
Just overwhelmed me.
Overwhelmed me.
If it hadn't been for...
Now here, let me put this down. Here, he uses the past perfect tense. If it hadn't been for Ali, that is good, because the one thing did happen before the other. If it hadn't been for Ali...
Ali, a patient teacher as well.
It says teacher and it sounds like tissue. Teacher, not tissue.
Teacher as well as dedicated friends. I couldn't...
Now how can Ali be two friends? I do like the language. Patient teacher, dedicated friend. Why is there an S there?
have managed to complete my training and achieve good performance at our workplace.
Well, workplace. And achieved good performance. Such a good performance. Performances are accountable. So I couldn't have managed and achieved. There's an and here, so this is past tense, and achieved such a good performance at our workplace.
However, thanks to those hard times,
It can't be thanks to.
we've been through together. We got closer, and our conversation could last endlessly, range from family, career, happy days to setbacks in life.
Don't quite know what he said here. Our conversations could last endlessly. Continue endlessly, but something cannot last endlessly. Our conversations could continue endlessly, ranging. You can drop the subject because the subject is still conversation. So here we have the one verb, last, which I don't think is the right verb, but anyway, it's the verb. Here's a verb. Both verbs tell us the action of the same subject. So here we can drop the subject, but it's got to be ing. Our conversations could continue endlessly, ranging from family, career. I don't know what the half days is. What is that?
It could last endlessly, range from family, career, happy days to
Half days. Don't know.
setbacks in life. As a predecessor, any journey offers me valuable advice.
Now, is Ali his predecessor? Because if Ali is his predecessor, why is Ali still there? Because the predecessor is the person who did the job before you. So they're gone. But Ali's not gone. So how is Ali a predecessor? I don't understand. So maybe what he means is, as someone with more experience, Ali could offer me some valuable advice and emotional, I guess the next word is support. There we go. So, not predecessor, someone with more experience.
Offers me valuable advice and emotional support whenever I confide in him.
This word is confine, not confine. Confine.
Low lecturing, low I told you so.
I've never heard anybody who mispronounced the word no. He says no and it comes out as low. Good idea, but wow, he mispronounced no.
Low lecturing, low I told you so, just pure compassion. He always tries to bring out the best in people instead of being Mr. Know-it-all.
Here's some great language. He always tries to bring out the best in people. That's very good. And this, instead of being Mr. Know-it-all, that is a great phrase. I mean, you can understand what it means, right? Great phrase.
Patronizing, which is one of million things I admire about him.
But then right after he says that, he makes such a basic mistake. Which is, there's no which is one of the million things I admire about him. Which is one of the million things I admire about him.
The know-it-all, or patronizing, which is one of million things I admire about him. Even though,
use those markers.
We are no longer working together and hang out more often than we should. Our strong bond has never gone loose.
Even though we are no longer working together and hang out. Oh, they don't work together anymore. Okay, so maybe Ali was his predecessor. Okay, maybe that was right. Our strong bond has never weakened. Bonds don't go loose, they weaken. Not the right verb here.
Than we should. Our strong bond has never gone loose. We keep each other in the loop.
Great phrase. To keep somebody in the loop means you keep somebody informed about what's going on, so they know what's going on with you.
About everything significant happening around us and providing mutual support if needed.
And slurred speech here and quite a heavy accent in this sentence.
Once in a while?
It's not once in a while, it's once in a while. Once in a while. And why is there a could here?
We could meet over coffee or dinner to catch up if our schedule allows. And
okay, lots of mistakes. Once in a while, I don't know why there's a could, this is not in the past. We meet up over coffee, that's good. Over coffee, over dinner. If our schedule allows. So if it's one schedule, which it's not, it should be allows. If it's two schedules, it should be schedules. It's two people, so two schedules. If our schedules allow.
Coffee or dinner to catch up if our schedule allows, and still I truly deeply treasure every moment together.
Okay. Let me listen to the pronunciation again.
He always tries to bring out the best in people instead of being
there's some stress there, best.
It's not at all or patronizing, which is one of million things I admire about him. Even though we are no longer working together and hang out more often than we should, our strong bond has never gone loose. We keep each other in the loop.
I don't know, the pronunciation is kind of weak. I don't know, maybe like a 5 for pronunciation. Maybe the other features, maybe the other criteria, you could meet a 6, but the pronunciation. Actually, for the vocabulary, I'd probably give him a 7. Yeah, because vocabulary 7. That's pretty good. Delivery, not so good. Sample 13.
Describe something interesting that your friend has done, but you...
Oh, before this starts, I love this sample. I'm not really going to make too many comments on this. The reason I'm including this one is just so you can see that when you listen to people giving these responses, it's not people talking, it's people reading. This is an example of someone reading, and you can clearly tell that he's reading and not talking. Listen to this.
Haven't. You should say what it was, where your friend did it, when your friend did it, and explain why it sounds interesting.
Okay, easy to understand.
I'm going to talk about something interesting my friend did.
Not a bad introduction, simple, but we get the point.
What's special about the game?
Okay, I know there's a horrible sound there. It doesn't last the whole time.
Is that you need to put on a white color t-shirt at the very beginning of running.
The next sentence doesn't clear it up to me. I don't know what the interesting thing is. The interesting thing is that his friend wore a white t-shirt. Very unclear. Anyway, that's not really the point. The point is, this is scripted.
Is that you need to put on a white color t-shirt at the very beginning of running. Yet every time you pass 1,000 meters, colored powder will be poured onto you from the people standing on the roadside.
Don't know what he's talking about. He's talking about some kind of race, I guess.
When you finish the game, or the run,
So he made a mistake while reading. I love this.
When you finish the run, there's an even bigger color feast waiting for you. The game would then turn into a kind of celebration at the end. Hundreds of people gather together to play with the colourful powders. Nobody is concerned about who he or she is. Nobody is too concerned about who or she. Nobody is too concerned about who he or she is. They just play and celebrate the end of the running.
What is he talking about? Some race? In the beginning, why doesn't he say what race he's talking about?
By celebration. They celebrate by celebration. Pardon? Nobody's too concerned about who he or she is. They just play and celebrate at the end of the run. The game is held annually in Beijing. The game is held annually in Beijing Olympic Forest Park, as it's such a huge place and has a nicely paved running trail around it.
Okay, I'm not even going to bother with the rest. I don't have anything to say about that. I don't quite know what he's talking about. The Beijing race or something? Marathon, maybe? Let's move on to sample 14.
I'm going to talk...
Okay, this guy. Before we start, look at the length here. 23:48. Yeah, that's good. Good length. Just shy of 2 minutes.
I'm going to talk about the success of a very good friend of mine whose name is Liu Zhang. We were high school classmates. Actually, we were desk mates.
I don't know what this is. Maybe this is a Chinese thing. Desk mates? What is that? Somebody who sits at the desk next to yours? Desk mate? I don't know. In the West, I don't think we use this phrase. I never heard this before.
We would do a lot of things together, like studying together and walking home together. So his success was,
If you're desk mates, why does it mean that you're going to go home together? Maybe you live in different parts of the city. It's kind of weird. Anyway.
So his success was, he had this dream that he wanted to visit 30 countries by the time he...
Sounds very familiar.
...turned 30. Now we're both 29 years old and he has been to 35 countries, which is amazing.
Amazing. Look at this stress on amazing there. That pause here. He's been to 35 countries, which is amazing. That pause right there. That's good.
It's an unbelievable achievement. Out of all of these countries that he's visited, there are some popular ones.
Okay, look here again with the present perfect tense, because he's probably still going to continue traveling. He's been to 35 countries. He's visited these countries. Consistent with the present perfect.
Achievement. Out of all of these countries that he's visited, there are some popular ones, including the United States of America, the UK, France.
I don't know why it says friends. It's France.
Australia and so on, but there are also...
Okay, no, I shouldn't have paused that.
...countries that are off the beaten track.
Remember the other woman said something else. Here's the correct pronunciation. Beaten track. Off the beaten track. So, I should put a comma there. So, countries that are not that commonly visited. Brunei, Cyprus, the Cook Islands. So these are off the beaten track.
That are off the beaten track, like Brunei, Cyprus, and the Cook Islands. For example, he just came back from the Cook Islands last month. He told me that...
Okay, now he's using the past tense because all of this is finished. He came back, he told me the country was basically heaven on earth. Oh, by the way, great phrase here, heaven on earth.
He told me that the country was basically heaven on earth. It was really beautiful.
And here, this guy uses basically correctly. Basically means like pretty much. It's like just below. So pretty much heaven on earth. Very close to heaven on earth.
Heaven on earth. It was really beautiful. It was breathtakingly beautiful.
I don't know why you want to say the thing is beautiful twice. We got it. It's beautiful.
And he went skydiving there. He went scuba diving there. All of these things are things I want to try myself.
All of these are things I want to try myself? Yeah.
So what he did, well, he just visited those countries, right? And
I don't know. I guess. Why are you asking? Don't ask this question. So what he did, yeah, basically he just visited these countries. But I guess what's more remarkable is that they had the opportunity to visit so many countries before he turned, what was it, 35, 30? I forgot. 30. Okay, so he's had the opportunity to visit this many countries in such a short period of time. That's what he did. He had an amazing journey, or journeys.
now he's a photographer. His job is just sharing photos on social media, which I think is really good, because this kind of job allows him to...
If you can, think of a better word than good, which I think is really, fulfilling, which I think is really lucky, which I think is really great. If you can get this kind of job, try and think of something better than good.
Because this kind of job allows him to do whatever he wants to do, which is...
Okay, and here this noun phrase, whatever he wants to do, which is, here's the relative pronoun with the noun, whatever he wants to do, which is V-I-N-G, another noun.
Traveling the world. So, yeah, honestly, I really envy him. I wish I had the same kind of lifestyle, but we're different now. I work in an office. I have a 9-to-5 job, so it's pretty hard for me to go to my...
Okay, we heard the other woman talk about this already. So, let's skip that. This is a terrific answer. Can't find any mistakes. I mean, this guy would probably get like an 8 or a 9, depending on part 1 and part 3. Here's sample 15.
Well, I'm going to talk about the time that I visited Luke in the United States. Luke is one of my closest friends, and we see eye to eye on most things.
Idiomatic phrase, see eye to eye. So we see things the same way. We have the same opinion on things.
For example, we both believe traveling is one of the most important things in life. Tasting different kinds of food is very enjoyable.
Well, who doesn't agree on this? But okay.
And also, Manchester United from England is our favorite.
I should throw in a commas there. Manchester United is our favorite. Yep.
England is our favorite soccer club, and
okay.
Because of that, he has to be my best friend.
Okay. So, because we share so many things, or because we have so many things in common, he's got to be my best friend.
Luke has been living in California for the last 2 years, so he moved there 2 years ago. And
I'm not sure why so. Okay. Previous response, I couldn't really find any mistakes, but here the so doesn't make sense. There's no so. There's no connection. He moved there 2 years ago.
I don't like this.
And this is... I don't like this. Okay, so he didn't really finish this idea. Something to avoid?
Now, I don't get to see him as often as I want.
The word get here is used very well. I don't get to see him. I don't have this opportunity.
Now, I don't get to see him as often as I want. The time I visited him was last year during the Spring Festival holiday. I had 7 days off. I just thought that I might as well go to the US to visit Luke. And he kept me company for 7 days throughout my whole trip. And that was amazing.
He kept me company. Well, yeah, but if somebody travels with you, they accompany you. They don't necessarily keep you company. I mean, I can keep somebody company in a room and we never go anywhere. But if you travel with somebody, you accompany them. You don't keep them company. So he accompanied me for 7 days. There's a difference between keep somebody company. Keeping somebody company means just to be with them. To accompany them is to travel with them.
So we visited a lot of fantastic places. For example, we drove down.
I love the down. From San Francisco to where? To Los Angeles. Okay, so it's north-south.
From San Francisco to LA on California Highway 1. That was an unbelievable journey because we were driving next to the Pacific Ocean and the
He sounds a little bit hesitant here in the sentence.
was an unbelievable journey because we were driving
That was an unbelievable, some weird pause there. Journey before journey.
next to the Pacific Ocean and the scenery was spectacularly beautiful.
These two words go so great together. This adverb, spectacularly beautiful. Oh, that's good.
And also in Los Angeles, we visited
Also in Los Angeles, his voice goes up because maybe he's thinking, he's not 100% sure.
Beverly Hills and Universal Studios, and we had a lot of fun in these places. How
I would advise not to do this. How I felt about it. Don't ask the question from the prompt. Rephrase this.
I felt about it, well, I felt it was really good. I mean, it was awesome because
It was really good. It was awesome. I mean, why not just say, well, it was pretty awesome? Why bother saying the same thing twice?
really good. I mean, it was awesome because I hadn't seen Luke for
Past perfect tense, yes, because the one thing happened before the other thing.
about a year, and I had been really missing him.
Past perfect continue. Past perfect. Oh, not past perfect continuous. Just past perfect again. I hadn't seen him. I'd been. Oh yeah, it is past perfect continuous. Here's the ing. I had been really missing him. I mean, terrific grammar. So accurate.
Then when I got to see him again, when we just stayed together for 7
Now here, did he say stay or did he say stayed?
see him again, when we just stayed together.
Ah, he said stayed. Can't fault him on that. That's my ears. That's not him.
And when I got to see him again, when we just stayed together for 7 days and visited so many.
This is my mistake also. He didn't say visit in, he said visited. Visit so many places. Alright, let's not hear that again. Let's skip ahead a little bit.
And visited so many places. I think that was really awesome. I like that trip in America.
But then right at the end he says twip instead of trip. Ah, but still. Terrific, terrific, terrific answer. Really good response. Sample 16.
Describe a success your friend has achieved. You should say who your friend is, what the success was, what he or she did, how you felt about the success.
And how you felt about the success. Okay. Anyway.
Well, several months ago, my friend Albert won the first prize in a garden competition about a new hotel.
I don't know what a garden competition is. Maybe it's first prize in a competition for planning a garden in a new hotel. I think so. There's no such thing as a garden competition. No, I never heard of that. There can be a gardening competition where you see, I don't know, who can do the best gardening, maybe? This is not right. First prize in a competition for designing a garden for a new hotel.
Garden competition about a new hotel. And designers were asked to show the beauty of this city.
Which city? She says this city. What city? What does the this refer to? She hasn't mentioned the city, so what is this city? I don't know.
Oh, the beauty of this city. Since Albert majored in
I'm assuming he's already graduated? Architecture. Not architecture. Architecture.
He searched for much information and was...
I don't understand the since here. Since Albert majored in architecture, he searched for a lot of information. Why? I didn't graduate in architecture, but I can search for a lot of information. I don't see why the one is dependent on the other. Why is there a since there?
He searched for much information and was attracted by a special style called Chinese Baroque, which is a mix of cultural...
Which is a mix. Okay, that's fine.
It appeared in 1920s.
Okay, now here I don't understand. Is this is, which is a mix of cultures which appeared? Well, yeah, the mix is the noun, right? It's a mix of cultures which appeared in the 1920s.
When the foreign culture came.
There's no the. When foreign culture, because you're not talking about a specific culture, you're just talking about foreign culture in general. So when foreign culture came to China, not into China, which came to China.
Into China.
Nope.
Unfortunately, most of those buildings have been destroyed in the war. What's a
Have been destroyed. Have been destroyed in the war.
pity?
Ooh, another mistake. It's what a pity, not what's a pity. What a pity. And she doesn't sound very convincing. She just says what a pity. What a pity. Put some. Well, here I think you fully justify giving some emotion.
Those buildings have been destroyed in the war. What a pity.
I take that back. I think I can actually hear some stress here. But I didn't pay attention to this. Let me just listen to this again.
What a pity.
Yeah, it's not what, it's what. What a pity.
So Albert decided to rebuild this kind of building, and in his plan, the hotel on the whole would be white.
The hotel on the whole would be white? Yeah, I get it.
Which is common in Baroque, but there will also be patterns from Chinese culture.
Like, why is this will? Because isn't this finished? Didn't you win the competition? I'm assuming so. So why are we using the future tense? There would also be patterns.
For example, on the wall.
Oh, wait a second. Oh, so also Chinese culture, not Chinese cultural, from Chinese culture.
Be patterns from Chinese culture. For example, on the walls, there would be grapes which represent money.
Drapes, maybe? Drapes? I don't know.
There would be grapes which.
But I hear a g sound. Grapes? There's grapes on the wall? I don't know.
Represent money or deer or health.
Deer. Money or deer? I don't know if it's deer or if it's deer the animal. Deer? Maybe I should change it to deer. I don't know what deer she's talking about. I hear deer. I don't know what it means. Money representing deer for health. Don't know.
Meanwhile, the hotel should house all kinds of old things.
Now remember, you can't use should in the past tense. The hotel would have to house all what? Kinds of old things. Okay, would have to house.
Meanwhile, the hotel should house all.
I mean, using house as a verb, I think that's pretty good. And here it's not house, it's house. House. The house is good. Yep.
The hotel should house all kinds of old things. For example, coffee pots, posters about old films.
Old film posters. Old film posters.
And oil paintings. Moreover, not all those objects are still.
I don't know what this means. Not all those objects are still. What does that mean? Does that mean the painting moves? The coffee pot moves? What?
Are still. Some should be put in use. For example, people can listen to music on old.
So does she mean, maybe she means not all those objects are for decoration, or not all those objects are merely decorative. Maybe that's what she means. They're not for decoration. They're not meant to be decorative.
Be put in use. For example, people can listen to music on old records, even enjoy a black and white film in the old days.
Well, how are they going to do this unless they travel back in time? How are you going to enjoy a black and white film in the old days? I think she means from the old days, not in the old days. She's not going back in time. They're just from the old days. Old days, very good. Just a pity about the preposition.
Finally, Albert's design was picked because it can create.
Could. This is past tense, so could. It could create a good atmosphere.
A good atmosphere.
Atmosphere.
In the hotel. I'm so happy for his success.
Well, no, you're happy for him. You're happy about his success.
and he surely deserves it.
Pity about all the mistakes. But I mean, the grammar is pretty accurate despite all the mistakes. It's really above average. I'll say that. Too bad there are some things that I can't make out. I mean, this could easily be a 7, but it is somebody reading it. Sample 17.
Describe a friend who you think is a good leader.
Whoa, this is very slow.
You should say who the friend is, how you first met, how other people behave towards him or her, and explain why you think he or she is a good leader.
I mean, can you hear the paper there?
The person I'd like to talk about is my classmate at university, Frank. It was in a work placement that I discovered his leadership qualities.
Okay, I'm not seeing any evidence of connected speech. Is he speaking too slowly for that?
I was a 4th-year student. I did not have hands-on experience.
That's a good phrase, hands-on experience. Yeah.
So I decided to take advice from the job center and join the work placement project. I hoped that I could learn how to adapt to the workplace.
The grammar and the language are all very accurate because it's somebody reading something. But anyway, let's listen to what's this here? Oh, this adapt to the workplace. Adapt to. Yeah, that's not bad.
By working in a large company, Frank worked together with me and other interns. He was very prudent and dealt with everything carefully.
Was okay, but then present tense. Why is it deal? It's dealt. He was very prudent and dealt with everything very carefully.
For example, checking all reports we did to ensure there was no typos.
Typos, flaws, were. To ensure there were no typos and flaws. But for report, we wouldn't use the word flaw. You would just say mistakes. So there were no typos or errors or mistakes, not flaw. Flaw is something that's... okay, flaw. Flaws you can use flaw with thinking, flawed method, but not flawed report. Nope.
Flaws. He also had outstanding organizational skills. He could manage to complete tasks on time. Sometimes we did not work very well, but he did not complain and scold me.
Okay, so what's going on here? Okay, so sometimes we didn't work very well. So although, why did I put an although here? Although we sometimes didn't work together very well, he never complained or scolded me, but instead provided us with blah, 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 blah. So if you have this but instead and you have although, it just ties everything a little bit nicer together. What am I trying to say? It ties everything together nicely.
Worked very well, but he did not complain and scold me, provided us with support and practical advice.
Especially this needs some here. Instead, providing us with support. Instead, ing, providing us. There's no subject here. So, ing. If there's no subject, it's got to be an ing.
Support and practical advice. All interns were happy to talk to him, and he could get along well with everybody. I also saw many of my colleagues take his advice. And respect his decisions. I think he would be a good leader. He's the one who can help others make greater progress. He's also a good role model in the workplace, and he has extraordinary communication skills.
grammar is a bit simple. I mean, look at this here. He is. He has. He would be. He is. Help. I saw. And when she tries more complicated grammar, she makes mistakes. Be verb. He could. I don't know. I see a lot of he can, he did. And when she tries more complicated grammar, mistakes. So with simple sentences, it's okay. Oh, look at this here. He was. With simple sentences, she does okay. Like here, Frank worked together with me and other interns. Simple sentence, no mistakes. But when she tries more complicated sentences, always mistakes. Alright, here's the last one. Sample 18.
Describe something interesting that your friend has done but you haven't.
Wow, she's going to fly through this. She speaks very fast.
You should say what it was, where your friend did it, and when your friend did it, and explain why it was interesting.
I don't know why there are two ands. This one doesn't need an and.
This reminds me of the high school graduation trip I missed. My friends and I had planned for weeks, trying to find something remarkable.
See, like here. Oh, sorry. My friends and I planned for weeks. And then she doesn't say we tried to find. She just says trying to find, and there's no we. Trying to find
something remarkable to do as a witness to our graduation.
This is a little bit weird. As a witness? I don't know. People can be witnesses, or people can witness things, but a journey cannot. So I'm not sure what she's saying there. To celebrate our graduation?
You know, high school graduates love to do something cool because we officially entered adulthood.
Okay, here's a be verb with a main verb. What is going on here? No. Maybe she wants to say we are officially entering adulthood. This R, it needs to be an ing.
After thorough discussion.
This one I can't make out. After what?
After thorough discussion.
Full of? I don't know.
We finally decided to try bungee jumping in Macau. We booked the flight and hotels. Everything was settled. But I somehow had a high fever on the day we made the appointment.
Made. I do like this somehow. So she doesn't know what happened. She somehow got a fever. It's pretty good.
Jump. Because of my physical condition, I wasn't even allowed to get...
I wasn't even allowed. Some nice stress there.
Top of the tower. In that evening...
No, there's no in that evening. Just that evening. No in. That evening, my friends brought back the videos.
My friends brought back the videos about how they jumped off the tower.
Videos of how they... Yeah, okay.
Screaming hysterically. They are...
But see, I hear when she says hysterically. Notice how she pronounces everything syllable by syllable. Let's play that again.
Screaming hysterically.
But when people talk, they will just say hysterically. They're not going to say hysterically. This syllable here is usually not sounded out if you have proper connected speech. Hysterically.
They also shared with...
Also, not or so. They also shared...
the experience.
I don't know what that means. They also told me about the experience. It's not shared. They told me about the experience.
All of them said that...
All of them. All of them.
All of them said...
All of them.
That they wouldn't try it a second time as their hearts almost jumped out of the chest.
It's a nice phrase. Your heart jumps out of your chest. Yeah, if you're very nervous. But it's a lot of people. So why is it one heart? Their hearts almost jumped out of their... I made a mistake too. Their hearts almost jumped out of their chests. Plural.
As their hearts almost jumped out of the chest.
No, she did say the. It's not my mistake.
Almost jumped out of the chest.
Yeah, it's their chests. Okay, so their hearts almost jumped out of their chests.
I'm not gonna lie. I felt so bad about not being able to make it.
Here the grammar's good. I felt so bad about not being able to make it. That's nice. I felt so bad about noun phrase, not being able to make it.
I wish I could have done it with my friends. It would be such an amazing experience.
It would have been, because she didn't go, it would have been such an amazing experience. This one is a little short. How short? About 20 seconds too short, I'd say. Maybe more. My math sucks. 40 seconds too short. Yeah, too short. Too short, some mispronunciations. Nothing too serious. Some pretty good language despite the mistakes. And that is the last of the 18 samples. And the guy talking about going to America, as always, I think his is probably the best.